As a newly minted EV owner, you need to do two things right after getting your EV. Number one, install a NEMA 1450 plug in your garage, or if you live in a condo or apartment, ask them to see if you can install one there. And the second thing is you need to get yourself a level 2 EV charger. And this one is a good option. This is the Wolfbox level 2 40 amp Wi-Fi capable EV charger. This one is for a permanent install, so you will not be taking it with you on road trips, but that's fine. If you live in a home with a garage, or if you live in a condo apartment building that allows installation of EV chargers, this is a good option, simply because you're going to maximize your charging speeds and you're going to spend less time charging at public DC fast chargers, which will elevate the experience of owning an EV. But before we get into the details of this unit, let's have a look at what comes in the box, and then we'll take everything to the garage and start having a better look at it. So we got everything out of the box, and everything that you need to get this installed is here. So first of all, let's look at this unit. Actually, the design of it is quite nice. It kind of looks like a Cybertruck with the way that it's shaped. I'll do some close-ups for you guys to see that. But yeah, very nice. So then we have some LEDs right here. We've got a screen right there. All right, and then here we have the NEMA 1450. That's going to go into our receptacle in the garage. Then obviously, this is your standard J1772 connector. You can also use this on a Tesla with an adapter, pretty easy. Most Teslas come with one. If it doesn't, you can buy one on Amazon very cheaply. So this one here, this is for your cable management. And this is where you would then put the J1772 receptacle if you're not using it, so it doesn't get dirty. And obviously we have a mounting bracket right there. And then we have also some studs and some screws and things like that that we can use to mount it into our garage. But then I also have to mention how good their user manual is and how well written and easy to understand it is. So kudos to Wolfbox on making the manuals really, really good, really easy to understand, even for someone like myself who's going to be mounting an EV charger for the first time today in my garage. Good to have more information. So now let's run through some quick specs before we take it into the garage. Let's have a look at some of the features of the Wolfbox 40 amp Wi-Fi level 2 charger. Obviously, it comes with 40 amp level 2 charging capability, which in this case is up to 9.6 kilowatt. Comes with a 25-foot cable, which is amazing because then you can just put the charger in one location, and even if you park your car different spots in your garage, you'll still be able to reach it. And as we all know, car manufacturers can't, for the life of them, agree on putting the connector in one place, so then cars have them all over. I wish that you would just do it like the Teslas do and call it a day, but apparently not. So nice to have 25-foot cable. This one comes with a J1772 connector. NACS connector is also available. That's your Tesla connector. This one is an important one, especially for me here up north in Canada. So the NEMA 4 enclosure rating is very good to have, meaning you can put this outside into the weather, into the snow, into the rain, into the cold, and you will still be able to use it, which is also nice because not everybody's going to put it inside a garage. Some people will put it outside, very much possible with this one. Wi-Fi connection, smart features, as well as app control. We'll look at the app later on. I can give you a quick overview of what it looks like. Now, the next thing, big for me, 4.3-inch screen. My Kia doesn't come with an app. I know Teslas do, other cars also, but for me, it's always nice to have a little screen. As I plug in, I know everything is working. I don't have to guess. I don't have to dig out my phone to check my charging speeds. Having that is awesome. Which then brings me to the next important thing. Most cars, most EVs come with a level 1 charger. I know some don't, but a lot of them do. But this one gives you 7 times higher charging speed compared to level 1. That's important to understand, which then obviously translates to a gain of 38 miles of range per hour. And for us here in Canada, that's 61 km. So pretty decent. Finally, the most important thing is safety. When we put this thing in our house, we want to make sure that It has passed all of the safety standards. This one has. So it is CSA certified and meets UL safety standards UL 2594. And on top of all of that, also is Energy Star rated. So if you put this thing in your garage, you will know 100% that this charger will do its job as intended in a safe manner. Now we're in the garage and we have everything laid out to get ready to mount this thing. So we have our bracket for the cord as well as the J1772 connector. We've got the bracket for the charger itself. We've got screws and everything else here. Then, of course, the charger itself. There we go. And here's our NEMA 1450 outlet. So before I am going to mount anything on a permanent basis, I want to have a look to see if the charger is working. So first, we're going to be connecting it to the Kia. Oh, I almost forgot. Before we're going to plug this in, let's peel back the protective film on the screen. And it's a really nice screen to have on a charger like this. Okay, let's start testing it out. Okay, we have connected it to the car, as you guys can see, before installing anything. It is ready to start charging. However, you need to be connected to it through Bluetooth or Wi-Fi to start charging, or you can have one of these. So this is an RFID card, which is also very cool. It's included in the box. There's 2 of them. So this very well can be installed outside in a public location, and nobody will be able to charge unless they have one of these or the app to start the charge. So now let's see if the RFID works. So here it says connect through Bluetooth or RFID card. So, oh, it's not a touch screen. I was wondering about that. Anyways, doesn't matter. So let's do the RFID. And we are charging. That is very good. So we were pulling 31 amps right now. Mind you, this one is rated for 40 max. So the charger comes with 2 RFID cards and 1 management card. This one you will be using if for whatever reason the charger stops working, and this is how you get into the back end, the settings there to reset everything. So make sure you keep that, don't lose it. And then you've got 2 RFIDs. And yeah, we are charging. So now to stop charging, you also need to use one of these RFIDs to stop the charge. Plug and charge can be set up in the app. So all you have to do is just plug in the car as you would normally, and we'll just start charging. Okay, so the test has been complete. We are all good. So now we need to start thinking about how to mount this thing. It's actually not very heavy, so I don't think it will be an issue to get it all sorted. So now it is installation time. First thing we need to do is we need to put this bracket onto the wall here and drill some pilot holes for these 2 bolts at the top. That's what's going to keep the unit stable. So what I did was I just drew out the top of the charger so that I know more or less this is where I want it to be when I finish with it. So let's see if that works out. So obviously first we're going to drill some pilot holes, but we got to measure out the distance from the top of the charger to where the bolts are. So from the top of the charger, we're looking at about 1.5 inches, because that's when we're going to be doing the pilot holes. So 1.5 inches is about this. And then we'll do the same here. 1.5 inch here. So this is more or less where we're going to be drilling the pilot holes, but obviously we need to make sure it's level. So let's do that now. This is where we're going to do the pilot holes. Right there. And then we just check it to see if we're level here, and we are level. Okay, so locations of pilot holes are done. So now we're going to do the pilot holes, and then we're going to be installing the bracket. Safety first, so we're going to be checking to see if there's any wiring there that we should be worried about. No wiring at all. Now, let's do the same for metal. Oh, there's some metal here that we have to be a little bit cautious about, but it disappears here, so that's fine. Now it could just be this metal piece here, which probably is what it is, but just in case, right? And then ideally we would be looking at some studs, okay? So let's see if there's any studs here that we can drill into, especially with pilot holes, right? Yeah, stud is here. Well, that's too far away. That's okay. We're gonna do with the anchors, and that should be enough. The unit is not very heavy, so I don't think that's gonna matter a lot, because the weight they will be distributed between the unit itself as well as the holder for the cables. We got our drill ready, so let's do the first pilot holes and see how it goes. If we do it wrong, we can always do it again. Yeah, that is 100% drywall in there. So definitely we're gonna need the anchors to do their job. Okay, so now let's beat in the anchors and then start mounting it up. Anchors are in, so now we have to get these big screws in the wall as well, so then that we can hang the bracket and just make sure and check the fitment. So let's get started on that. Because we just got to check the fitment. Make sure that the plate itself fits nicely in there. Plate orientation is this way, with this going flush against the wall. All right, so let's test it out, see if it's all good. That's very nice. And then obviously we still need to drill a pilot hole here for the smaller screw on the bottom. But so far so good. So let's do that now. This one has been drilled, and I've added the anchor as well. So it all lines up pretty well, as best as I want it to be. So I'm pretty happy. So let's get this thing mounted now. So now what we need to do is we need to screw the plate, this one here, this way, to the back of the charger unit. And we have 3 screws supplied. So let's do that now. Plate is secure with the screws. So now let's mount it up. Now it's time to install the last screw, which goes on the bottom here. And then it has been mounted. So then the only other thing we need to do is to install the cord holder. Well, let's get this done first. There we go. And then that is pretty solid. Maybe we can. All right. That is good. Pretty solid unit. It's not gonna fall off. But now, the biggest question, can the cable reach the receptacle? Can the cable reach the receptacle? The answer is yes. Done. So now, putting in here the cable holder. Because we are drilling into a stud, So I just made the pilot holes a little bit, not too deep, but just enough so that we can get these things in there and get a tight fit on this. Not bad, eh? Very, very nice. I really like the design of this EV charger. It does really look good, and the orange is just that it's on standby, ready to use if you want. So now let's test it out and see if I installed everything correctly and if it works to charge our car and what kind of speeds we get on this. Key is in. Let's test out our new home charger. I gotta say again, I love the design. It looks so good. Oh, I'm very happy to have something permanent in my garage finally. We have plugged in, so now we need to use RFID to start. Again, after this, I'm gonna start setting up the app, and then we're gonna just do plug and charge because it's easier. But anyways, first, let's do that. And boom, beep from the car, and we are charging. So here, what is the information that we have? We have our voltage and our current. So we're pulling 30, almost 31 amps, and our voltage is at 243. So again, this is a 40 amp home charger, level 2, and this plug supports up to 50 amps. So, most important, never ever run an EV charger at max amperage of what your outlet can handle. That is just asking for trouble. 80% or thereabouts is the golden rule. That's why we're keeping this one at 40 max with a 50 amp outlet. But obviously my Kia cannot do 40 amps, so we're doing 30. How does that translate into charging speed? So let's get into the car and see what kind of charging speed we're pulling with the car on and with the car off. But again, I really like this setup. I like the design. Yeah, everything just went pretty well with this, so I'm super happy. The car is on and we are pulling 7.6 kilowatt from this charger, which is much faster than I ever got, even from level 2 public charging. So I'm super happy. So I am currently at 62%, and I set my charge limit on AC at 80. It is enough for me. I don't really drive more than this, and now I can charge at home, so it's all perfect. Just to save the battery and make sure it keeps going for as long as possible. So it will be an hour and 15 minutes until I reach 80. Not too bad. So now let's turn off the car and see what we're pulling. So now with the car off, it is still by 7.6 kilowatt. But the golden rule here is that HVAC and all the other car systems like BMS are not taking anything away from the charge, so that we are putting maximum amount of kilowatts into the battery, which is nice. So yeah, pretty good. I have set up the Bluetooth as well as Wi-Fi, connected it to my phone through their app, and enabled plug and charge. So let's see if that works. So let's take the connector first, and then let's see if we can just plug it in and start charging. There we go. What's going on? Charging starting. Boom. And there we go. Now it is charging. So yeah, plug and charge works, but like I say, I really like this idea of RFID cards in case this is outside in a public location. Let's say you put this at your office, and you just want certain people to charge, so then they can just use the cards and they don't have to worry about other people coming and charging that you don't want. So good to have both options. Installation was super simple. It took me about an hour because I was filming, but if you don't film what you're doing, like most people, then it should take around, I would say, 20 minutes, half an hour at the longest. All you need is a drill and then you're good to go. And then boom, you have this in your garage. Pretty simple, right? As you guys can see, the color on the charger, on the LED now is bluish. So this means that the charger is connected to Wi-Fi. So it is on our network, which means I can use the app to manage the charger if I'm not home. So let's have a quick look at what the app does and some of its functionality. And then I'll give you my final thoughts. Let's have a look at the app that comes included with your Wolfbox EV charger. So this is the front screen. So let's have a look from top to bottom. The first option is a drop down where you can choose your amperage. Obviously, I've chosen 40 amps simply because my plug in the garage is a NEMA 1450 with 50 amps, so this is perfectly fine. Then the next thing is your toggle for plug and charge. So this is where this is located. If you don't want to use any of those RFID cards that come included with the charger, you simply turn that on and then you can just plug in and charge. And then finally, the next one is your scheduled charging. So here, if you live in a location where energy is cheaper at night, you can schedule your charging to start and stop at a certain time. All right, so now let's go plug in the car and see what changes on the front screen. So I'm gonna go and do that right now. So as you guys can see, as soon as I started plugging in the car, the screen changed and now it's all working. So let's again look from the top to bottom. So we've been charging for 2 minutes now. Our charging speed is 7.4 kilowatts. It shows your voltage, your current, the temperature here, and this is the temperature of the charger itself, so you can monitor that. Then it shows how much energy has increased on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, we have how much mileage we've gained. All right, so very nice little front page interface, and then obviously a big and charging sign, right? Then here's our data page. So this shows all of your history, how much you've charged and how many sessions you've had. Obviously you can search that. You have also a graph that will get populated over time with your electricity as well as cost if you've set that up. And then obviously this is the settings page. So at the top you can choose your temperature units, Fahrenheit or centigrade. I'm in Canada, so we're going to use Celsius. Then cost unit, that is for your energy cost. So I have it set to dollars, and my energy costs 0.08 cents per kilowatt hour. Then I have my vehicle information, Kia Soul EV, 64 kilowatt hour battery capacity, and my mileage as rated by the manufacturer is 452 kilometers. And then finally the indicator switch, that is just to show those LEDs on the charging unit, which I think is useful. So there you go, 3 pages, very easy to use and quite good information. So if you're like me and my Kia Soul EV does not have an app, well, actually it does, but it costs like $40 a month after the trial is over, and it's really not that great. Having an app like this just to monitor your charge when you're away from home, or if you're upstairs and you don't want to go downstairs to see what's going on, it's a great idea. So definitely awesome to have, and it works via Wi-Fi, not only Bluetooth, which means that you could be anywhere and still get all the relevant information about your charging session. Let's talk briefly about compatibility, because I think it's super important to focus on this a little bit. So this charger comes with a standard J1772 connector. So if your car is a CCS capable car, which most are on the market, then yes, you can use this just natively, plug in and you're off charging. Now, what about if you drive a Tesla? Or what about in the future you buy a car with a Tesla NACS port or NACS? Because as you probably heard, Tesla is licensing their ports to everybody. Everybody's switching over in the next few years. So is your charger that you spend money on going to still be compatible with your future vehicle? And the simple answer is yes. All you need is one of these. These are J1772 to Tesla NACS adapters, available on Amazon. You can find them everywhere there. They're super cheap, super affordable, and all you have to do is, if you drive a Tesla, buy one of these, slot it on right there. Super simple, boom, it locks into place, and then that goes into your Tesla vehicle or any vehicle with a NACS port that may come out in the future. So then, yeah, your power station at home, your charging station, is still going to be able to charge your future vehicles, your Tesla cars, what have you. So invest in one of these, future-proof yourself, and still use your charging equipment for years to come. What do I think of the Wolfbox 40 amp Wi-Fi capable level 2 EV charger? I think it's awesome. I like the screen because you don't always want to go into an app to check stats. It's nice to just have it here. I like the long cable because I can even take it outside my garage and charge a car that is not inside here if I ever had to do that. Also, what I think is a game changer are these RFID cards that come included with this charger. You can put this outside of workplace, for example, distribute cards like this to your employees, and then they can charge their EVs, and you know that nobody else will be able to charge on your network. That is awesome, okay? Awesome. And also, you know, if you do put it outside, just in case, right, someone shows up with a car and start charging, again, having that RFID functionality that locks out everybody except you, great idea. I wish more chargers had that. So it's a full package. You've got the Wi-Fi, you've got the app, you've got the RFID, you've got a screen, you've got a long cord, NEMA 1450. You want to get it hardwired, you can. There are other options. I'm going to leave links in the description below. Go check it out, read more about it, and I'm sure that if you pick one up, you're going to be totally happy. All right, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. As always, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.